IT Bootcamp for the international region. This is the briefing for everything that's going to happen this week. And then we will have another session by PMs later today, and everything will go from there. So who are we, who I am? My name is Alexei, and I've been here for 6 years already. I measure because once I joined the team, I actually had a daughter born to me, so I know exactly how long I have been here. And of work, I'm just, kind of a part-time musician, free diver, and a YouTuber. If you ever saw an off-bridge YouTube video, a long one, that's probably me. So sorry about that, but yeah, I like OPSB even outside of my working hours, so that's how it goes. On.
Hey, so my name is Alon Lifshitz. Most of you know me already from the last 20 years in Mercury, HP, and Micro Focus. I'm building courses, demos, environments, and doing mostly now enablement. Off work, I'm interested in religious, Judaism, and doing rappelling, fishing, and many other things in my spare time. And wish to give you the best this week.
All right, fantastic. So let's talk about some administrative boring stuff before we get into the cool stuff. So we start all days at the same time, around hour, like today, and the day lasts for 8 hours. But that's for Alon and I. Alon and I are going to be here 8 hours every day. And of course, if you have some work to do afterwards, you are still free to use the environment anytime you want. But that's the amount of time that we're going to be here because we kind of tied to chairs, cannot really leave. But the course itself is a little bit shorter than 8 hours every day. We just have a little bit of a buffer. Each morning we start an audio briefing, and also we have some presentations that come along the way from R&D or technical success team or product management team. And for this, please remain in the chat at all times. You don't need to be connected to the audio if you're not presenting, but at least be in the chat so we'll see the announcement. Okay, guys, we're starting in like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, of course, once the presentations are done, in between presentations, or if we finished all the presentations in the morning, we switch to chat mode. This is where we will be supporting you on the hands-on exercises, right? And you can pop in and pop out. I suggest keeping it up at all times. Maybe not for audio because if someone is experiencing an issue and we solved it and we wrote in the chat what to do, probably if you're out of the meeting, probably would not see it. But nobody is keeping you inside. When you need help, just ping us in MS Teams, and we'll try to address the issue as fast as possible. Just try to understand that in the online setting, right, not like a real bootcamp, we can support only one person at a time if we're connected to their computer. That's just the way it is. In the classroom, I would be hopping from station to station and everything. You know me, but this is a limitation. So what's going on during this time is, if, for example, you are asking for my help and I'm actually helping somebody else, and you see that we are not answering for about 15 minutes, not just again, ping us, do something that will bring our attention, even maybe send us an email if we're not answering, because it's not that we want to ignore anybody, and we're trying really hard not to, and we try really hard to even acknowledge an issue that we might have time later for support. But things happen, and it's not by design. So please just don't be polite. If you need help, just remind us in any way possible. Okay. Also, we understand that during online courses, the work never stops. Okay, it's not that like it used to be in the past. You book your hotel, you fly to another city, and you work there for 1 week with the instructor. So it kind of separated from your day-to-day work. I understand that it continues, and the course is actually designed to take about 6 hours every day of your time. and there are 2 hours of buffering every day, just to accommodate for maybe you are not familiar with the technique and you are taking your time to learn it, or if you have some meetings in the middle, we understand completely. It's all fine. Okay, so this is why Alon and I will be here for 8 hours every day. But if you're done for today, if you've done the exercises that were meant for this specific day, you can disconnect, just tell us goodbye and see you tomorrow. And that's about it. No need to be connected to this call at all times if you're done. All right. So what are we going to learn this week? The products would be OPM, Sitescope, BVD, APM, Visio, and Kubernetes, as if it's a little bit separate from everything else. But because it's COSO, there is no way around it. You'll have to be dealing with the platform. Okay, each of you would get a personal farm, and they are located in Sacramento, and you're going to be connecting via RDP, but from your browser using Guacamole. So it's actually pretty nice. And I'm going to be distributing the environments once I'm done talking and presenting over here, and that would be your cue to start working on the exercises themselves. And the idea, of course, is to give you as much hands-on experience as possible. But this week, because COSO is so vast and we address it as a separate topic, just with a bootcamp just for itself, there's going to be a lot of theory as well. Okay, starting with PM talk when the time will come, and then we will continue to all kinds of theories related to data consumption, data collection, and everything else, right? But of course, hands-on experience is the most important one, not just talking about it. Now, of course, if you completed beginner course, we call it essentials, where you install stuff, it's very beneficial. I understand that sometimes people come to the bootcamp without experience, and our exercises are built in a way that allow you to complete them, even if you're touching your computer for the first time, more or less. So that's completely fine, but you will benefit from it more if you have some experience with some past training that we provide. All right, and then we go with agenda day 1. We'll have a PM session. It's scheduled to be 40 minutes from now. We'll see if the scheduling works. But then, of course, we have a lot of hands-on, like a lab setup, and then exercises, basically exercises 1 through 7. And I'll show you what I mean by that once I'm done going over the briefing over here. Tomorrow is going to be a C theory, and we'll be building some custom BVD dashboards and some presentation and lab work with customers, with the technical success team, sorry. And then we'll do some BVD dashboard CLI exercise. On day 3, it's going to be data consumption by R&D. 2 teams from R&D would be joining us. One of them would be COSO in general, and another one would be OPSB COSO in particular. And they will be joining forces in order to teach us everything that we need to know about COSO. And then we'll switch to technical success team for bring your own BI, and then OPM performance dashboards exercises. And on day 4 is completely theoretical. But it's very important because in those first 3 days, you are building your muscle memory, you're understanding, you're getting familiar with the internals of COSO and hearing some theory and touching stuff. So on day 4, once we get to troubleshooting, you will have enough knowledge to relate to those specific topics, like what can be wrong or what can be fixed in COSO as a platform, or what could be done specifically in the reporting area or PVD or performance dashboard or stuff like that. So you'll be more equipped with asking questions or something that might notice during the lab week, and then you have more relevancy to those troubleshooting sessions. And they're all reserved for day 4. It's going to be only 4 hours, and then we'll go our separate ways. And by then, the labs also should be completed. Okay. Now, some of the exercises are performed on external environments. So technical success prepared an AWS instance where they have BVD and some COSO data, which we will consume. And For those specific exercises, you'll need to install some software on your own laptops. Namely, bring your BI and Grafana. Okay, so if you
Alexei, it's not Grafana,
yes.
it's only the Power BI.
Oh, it's only the Power BI. Oh, okay, fantastic. So we are down to one. Now, if you're using some operating system that's not Windows, we'll have to figure out what to do. Probably you already have some kind of a Windows machine in AWS or somewhere else, because probably you have some Windows tasks to do, even though you are using some kind of a different laptop. But if you need it, we'll spin up a Windows server for you, so we will be able to connect to those exercises from someplace else. Okay. Our mission is, of course, learn the COSO capabilities and OPSB suite in general, but we will also treat it as a process, because COSO is a journey. First you collect and then you consume. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Today we're going to be collecting, and starting from tomorrow, we're going to be overviewing what is it that we can do with the COSO data. Some things might be obvious to you, some things you just heard about, but now you'll get an opportunity to experience it yourself with your own hands. So definitely a good learning experience. And the idea is just to make you comfortable with this. We have been dealing with COSO on and off in our training for the past few years, but now it's just going to be part of everything that we do. So definitely it's a vital skill that is going to be part of your everyday. Okay, now the documentation portal, in my invite, I sent you a way to connect to the documentation portal. And I want to clear out some questions that I get asked by first timers. And the first question that everybody asked me is, Alexei, where can I get the offline version of the exercises? Where are the PDFs or Word documents or anything? And the answer is there is none. The portal is online, and it's written online, and it is kept like this, and there is a good reason for it. So many of you might find some bugs or logical misconceptions or typos or something in the exercises that we need to change. And because it is an online documentation, we can do it on the fly, like immediately. So if someone finds anything, I'll just type in the chat, okay, guys, if you're on this exercise, just refresh your page and new instructions would appear over there. Right. So if you need those documents offline, you can of course print them into PDF using your own tools. But I understand if you're going to some place like the military or something that doesn't allow internet connection, and you need those docs with you as a reference material. But in general, I would recommend using the website, because it changes. You might not have the latest version. Okay. In terms of exercises themselves, each exercise is a journey from setting it up, configuring stuff, and then there is the punchline. This is where everything falls into the same place, and now you understand, oh, okay, now I understand how it should be, how it should look like when it works. And later in your work, when it doesn't, you'll have a reference to how it looks like when it works. This is why I prefer that you will finish exercises rather than jumping between all of them and trying to complete them in some chaotic way, or maybe abandoning some of them, because you'll be missing the punchline and the point of the whole ordeal. So please go with the exercises to the very end. And the lab environment, it's a workaround environment. It's a POC environment. It's really small. This is why we can have 30 students with 30 dedicated G7 hosts, and each of you have their own set of machines and environments. But the trade-off, of course, they are small and slow. So I understand that if you're more comfortable with working with production instances of your customers that are really large and fast, it might be an inconvenience, but please be patient. Okay, they are a little bit slow, but they are personal. So you're not sharing anything, including hard drives or network or anything. Okay. Now, if you get stuck, please just check with us what can be done. And also, if you don't want to wait for us to address the issue, usually, and when I say usually, I'll say most of interactions that we have with helping people, helping students during their exercises, is that we just go back 1 page or 2 pages and we find something that was missed, which is completely natural. There are like tons of instructions for you to do sequentially, one after one. They all look the same when you do it for the first time. We completely understand, but to speed up the part where you troubleshoot something that doesn't work, just go 1 page down, 2 pages up, see maybe something is missed and it might solve the issue. Okay, now if you have feedback for our documentation, don't hesitate. Okay, we have a very, very good reason to listen to you. So this is a virtual instructor-led environment or lab where I and Alon are able to interact with you and help you out. But later it will become a self-paced lab that people can do offline, or at least not with immediate support from us, right? So the more we put into those documents, the more precise they are, the less support those offline users would have to ask for later. So we do want your feedback. We want to fix the documents to make them ready for students that are not going to be taking the course in a personal level like you do. Okay, so don't hesitate to speak out. There is a comment section below each exercise, so definitely use it. Now, if you have not registered yet, let me just take a screenshot of that and I'll put it into the chat over here. All right, so if you open the chat window, you'll see the screenshot that shows you how to connect. And I guess you see it more like this. So you need to press this button, show conversation, and there would be the image that explains how to connect to the portal. Okay, and in a minute, I'll show you a demo of everything. In the documentation site, just navigate to the OPSB section and press the green button. There is always just 1 or 2 green buttons for active content. Okay, and now this is my time to show you around. So when you go to the website for the first time over here, let me just see if there are questions. Yeah, Heinz, you will not be able to, it's not successful because I did not change the password, not yet. Okay, so when you go there for the first time, you'll click on the OPSB and then you'll see that there is the active content over here. Before we jump into that content, please notice that this section includes all of the historical material. All of our content is written as cookbooks that you can adapt for your field work. So it's not just historical content. The people go there all the time for reference, for comments, for sequences of comments to achieve a specific result. So we definitely check it out. For your convenience, I created this red button over here with that it has a full list of documents in the same place. Just it's easier to search and reference using this thing. There are some demo videos for your field work if you need to show something that's a little bit more lively than a canned demo. And all of the demo documentation also sits in the same place, right? So this is not just a one place where you go for exercises for this lab week and that's it. This is where you go all of the time for some stuff that you need. And very important, please do not share this with customers. Micro Focus has a customer education team, and if the customers have access to this portal, there's a conflict of interest. Okay, we as company lose money, and also this you'll see that sometimes I joke around in the exercise for some reference or anything, and it's not customer-facing ready documentation. So please take this into account. Okay. When you go here for the first time, you'll see that there are sections separated here by tabs. So the first one is lab setup, and you cannot go to exercises unless you finished all of the lab setup steps. And when you are inside the environment and you want to figure out what's the URL for anything or credentials, there is hosts, URLs, and passwords tab, which you can use. And the presentations are uploaded over here. And all of the video recordings are going into dedicated tab for each region. So North America already has a bunch of stuff here. And international, all the videos would go over here. All right. I hope it kind of explains itself. So we'll go to Blue Shift. This is how you connect to your environment. So the documentation demo is over. So let me show you how you connect. You'll go to Blueshift and you need to use the training account that is listed here. The password would be updated shortly. And once you log in, okay, that is, you see that. Do we have a problem? It's working yesterday. Okay. That is unexpected. That worked yesterday. Okay, I'll sort it out a little bit later. Okay, I'll have to.
The username is not activated.
Yeah, I know. It's. I think I also know why. So let me use my own credentials over here, and we'll fix it using some other tool. So unblock user. User. Okay. Say clear FUD. Probably it's just locked. Which is completely fine. It happens. There we have it. So I'll log out and we'll give it another try. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so it was locked. Sorry about that. So you go to subscriptions and orders, and I'll choose one of the environments as an example here. So that would be environment number 2. And each of you would get the environment assignment pretty soon. Okay, be patient. It's going to take us just a little bit. Okay, you click on connect, and this is very important. You are using your browser, and not all browsers are equal. Some browsers like to hide the data about, for example, what is the size of the browser window. So what I recommend to do is actually going into full screen mode like this. You press your F11, or you just right click and you say full screen on your browser, and then you click to connect. And what it does, it creates more screen space. So if you have a screen that is smaller than full HD, or if you're using some kind of scaling on your environment in your laptop, let's say 125% zoom or 150, the browser would struggle to read it. So if you do it in full screen, then it would not struggle, and it would match the resolution of your full screen window when you click to connect. So now I clicked that to connect, and it will just open another tab. It's just a browser tab that has our RTP in it. And it accepts a copy paste, right? You're going to be doing a lot of copy paste commands, some text over here and there. But I recommend going into the environment and actually logging in to the documentation site from inside the environment. Okay, it will just make everything easier for you. You will not need to jump in and out of it for every single step. It's all be just at the tip of your fingers. The exercises would be performed much faster, right? So when you go to the environment, you just go mfte.com. Of course, after completing the lab setup guide, of which I'll talk in a second. Now, as you notice, I'm in a full screen and I don't have access to anything. I don't have access to my browser anymore. In order to get out, I'm pressing Control, Alt, and Shift, and it will just pop up this nice like a slide out window, which now allows me to access my browser normally. So I'll just go out of the full screen. Again, you just right click and say full screen, or use F11 or your keyboard. And to make it go, you just press Control Alt Shift once more, and there it is. So the first step in your lab work would be, of course, logging in, but then it's going to be perform the introduction to the lab environment plus setup. And this is a very important document. Now, our environments are cloned environments. And cloned environments, it means that as much as we can replicate configurations, not all of them are possible. Just some of them you need to do manually. And luckily for us, it's just 3 pages with screenshots. So you'll go to your Internet Explorer over here. And wait for it to open. Just wait another second. Okay. And then in the Explorer, you'll go and you'll configure your proxy exceptions. Just let's wait for 1 minute in Microsoft time. It takes a little bit. Okay. So we go to the internet options. And we'll go to connections, LAN settings, and we'll set up the proxy according to the document. So the document says that the proxy is eswdc.net proxy.net. So we do this. The port is 8088, and then we will go to the proxy exceptions, and then we need to just copy paste the string that would add to proxy exceptions all the internal structure of the website. Another thing that it says, you go to security and you add a wildcard internal domain to the secured to internal sites, right? So it's going to be http://item.com. This is the internal domain of your environment. Okay, and then you add once more, and that's it. That's your first setup. Then the guide will tell you something else. It will tell you to go and connect to mRemote-ng. And mRemote-ng sits specifically on your disk C bootcamp directory, mRemote-ng. Yeah, don't try to log in just yet. I'll change the password in the site in just a minute, Pavan. Okay, just be patient with me. I just want to make sure that everything is clear because Alon and I spend a lot of time during each bootcamp explaining this very first set of steps. So I'm performing it here on screen, so you have visual reference to about what we're talking about. Okay, so you open mRemote-ng, and this is your access to everything in the environment. And you'll see in a minute what I mean by that. Come on. Okay, while it opens, okay, that's it. So here, when we say SSH or RDP to anything, we use it as verbs. You just we mean go into mRemote-ng and click there. Now it's very important. Commands and configurations and stuff that are related to command line or operating systems, we're performing from here, from RDP and SSH. When we say go to OBM or log into OBM as a GUI or a product as a GUI, we always mean the Access VM itself. So not inside any of those RDPs, not at all. What we mean is use the browsers here in the system in order to access those products. I know that it sounds trivial, but new environment is very confusing, and some people get lost in it. An additional thing for those of you that do know us and performed some bootcamps with us, something new. We give you full control over the vCenter that hosts your environment. And in order to log in there, you just open the URL. And you accept some security exceptions that it's going to throw at you, like this. It's a little bit slower than. Okay, where's my security exception? Okay, in case your security exception do not work, there is you can do the manual steps. I'll do this. I don't want you to wait, but believe me, there is like a pop-up that should be going out of it, and it would just allow you to log in without copy pasting all of those credentials. But the document supports both of them, describes both of the methods. So you go inside, and you'll find that your machines are turned off. So you need to turn them on, and we give you this control because some people prefer to restart their exercises from the very beginning, right? And the idea is that you can go and revert your machine into its previous state, and you get full control instead of waiting for us instructors to do so. It's very handy, for example, if you're doing it, your exercises after hours, and then you get stuck, and the next time you're gonna hear from Alon and I is gonna be 16 hours from that moment, right? So instead of waiting, you can just go ahead and revert the machine. So this is how you do it. You'll go to your VMs, and you'll just power them up like this. Right-click, power on. Okay, and all of them have snapshots that you can revert to if you want, when you need it. Okay, so this is the environment setup. I think we're pretty much done here. vCenter, Blueshifts environment overview. Okay, now something very important. When you click on our DB links from when exercises demand it, please, when you see yes or no question, do not go with the instinct and click the no button. It will just turn on the firewall to protect this Windows host. Click on the yes. Okay, I know it's really weird to put it right here in the beginning of the course, but believe me, it's a time saver, very precious one. So definitely remember that one. For a yes or no question for network, say yes. Okay, now in order to get certified for this course, and we do get certifications for it when we finish it, there is a completion criteria, and it's very simple. You need to take 4 out of those 6 screenshots based on exercises. Let me paste it here in the chat once more. Oh, come on, chat. There's my chat. So I'll paste it here into the chat, and I'll also paste it every day, just as a reminder. Okay, just take 4 out of take 4 out of those 6 screenshots and send them to me by the end of the week. Please do not send me screenshots one by one. There are 30 students. That's going to be 180 screenshots to track per individual. So please, just at the end of the week, send them to me in the email just one time, and that's gonna be really, really convenient for us to go and mark your name as course passed, and that's gonna be your certification criteria. Okay. Now, before we go, few things that I want to mention. So, if you want more training from us, we do provide running lab weeks or offline trainings or self-paced trainings from time to time. So watch those notifications that come from our team. But also there is, for example, Essentials on Demand on Blueshift. If you use your own account, you can go there and you can perform all of the steps and even get certified at the end of the week if you send me the screenshots that are relevant for that course. So definitely those VLT or the bootcamp that we have right now, this is not our only interaction. We can go further even without something planned. Okay, the environments that you receive, that you are about to receive, will be reverted back to original state on Friday evening, if you're in the European zone, right? So definitely this is an opportunity for you to try out more stuff, more exercises, to learn and experiment. Please do not mine Bitcoin and hack other websites from this environment. Everything else related to OPSBridge itself, please go wild, do what you want. Learn, tear it apart, revert it back to snapshots. It's yours until Friday. On Friday, we revert it back for next week's class. Okay, and of course, at the end of the week, I'll be sending you a request to fill a survey. So if you have something that you want to tell us, you will get an opportunity to do so as well. Okay, so time for questions. There are any? If not,
yeah, this is Pawan.
yes.
Yeah, so for this course, do we need required vertical database knowledge?
No. So let me, you know what, it's actually a good and valid question. Just let me show you what I mean by that. Okay. So first of all, please, if you're in the documentation portal, right here, refresh your page. The password for OPSBridge shared training would be, well, you'll see a new one basically. And let me unlock the user once more because probably it got locked. Oh, come on, what a joke. One second, I have demo portal. Let me just unlock. Probably it should be locked. So let's unlock user. Are we blocked? Yes, we are. Okay. Clear FUD. Okay, so from this moment on, you can log in, and it should work for you. Now, do not try to log in with your personal credentials, because if you don't have a user on BlueShift, it would just lead you to, I don't know what it would be. Okay, so back into here. So when we perform all of those configurations and everything, I want you to see the style of our writing. So for example, agent upgrade, this is your first exercise for today. Everything is explained and everything has a comment and a screenshot as a reference, as a visual reference to what you should be seeing on your screen once you perform something that changes the context of your screen, right? So a vertical knowledge is definitely helpful, but if you don't have it, our exercises would give you this vertical knowledge as we progress. Well, not all of it, of course, but partial knowledge that is relevant for the exercises that we're going to perform. Okay, so I know that if you're experienced with the OPSB suite, you're going to be benefiting more. But if you're a completely new guy that never touched anything, you'll be able to complete this lab week successfully, regardless. Okay, it's just maybe it would not be as helpful in terms of building your knowledge because it is still based on something. Okay, I hope it answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was the part of a Micro Focus. I was there around 5 years. So,
Okay.
yeah, I do have a knowledge all the tools regarding whatever shown here. Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So today we perform like half of the exercises, right? So there's going to be 1 through 7. This is what we do today. And let me stop the recording right here.